Film is often considered to be one of the most innovative art forms, but are all directors equally creative? Hi, I'm Amanda Barretz, and I'm here to talk to you about auteur theory. What is auteur theory? Well, the word auteur actually is the French word for author, but the theory relates to a director who brings a deliberate, unique, and creative vision to the film. For some directors, it is easy to tell if they are an auteur. Take, for example, the renowned Wes Anderson films Moonrise Kingdom,
DeLuca, latrine inspection. Good.
and the Grand Budapest Hotel.
Mr. Mosher, sir.
Mr. Mosher?
Yes, Monsieur Gustave.
Am I to understand you've surreptitiously hired this young man in the position of a lobby boy?
He's been engaged for a trial period, pending your approval, of course.
Perhaps, yes. Thank you, Mr. Mosher.
You're most welcome, Monsieur Gustave.
As seen in these clips, Anderson clearly brings a whimsical style to many of his works, wielding the camera like a writer uses a pen, as any true auteur would. However, it isn't always this clear. It often takes the consideration of many aspects of a film to determine whether or not a director can also be considered an auteur. Such is the case with Ridley Scott's Blade Runner. In his film, Blade Runner, Ridley Scott has a clear vision about the future and what it's going to be like. It's clear that he spent a lot of time considering, the script says this, so what does this mean, and how can I add on a layer to what's already there? Let's take a look at some specific examples from the film and try to piece together what Scott was thinking. When establishing the world of Blade Runner, Scott uses the script as more of a guideline as opposed to a set of rules. For instance, this scene in the script describes the first scene in the city. While it provides a general description, when really considered, it could be any old metropolis with tall buildings and blimps. Taking a look at the scene in the movie, the vision becomes a whole lot clearer. It's supposed to be in LA, and it's raining, cold, and dark, bustling with grungy-looking people. None of this is mentioned in the script, and is quite uncharacteristic of what would be expected of LA today. This emphasizes Scott's idea that the future of LA looks pretty gloomy. When examined on a scene-by-scene basis, Scott's auteurism becomes even more apparent. Take, for example, the scene in which Deckard and Gaff are searching Leon's hotel room. When contrasted with the script, it is clear that Scott made some decisions to make the plot more engaging. A key part of this scene in the script is that there are no lines, and it focuses on emphasizing tension between Gaff and Deckard, but only with minimal directions on how they should portray it. While the movie presents the exact same story, Scott interprets it in a way that focuses less on the tension between the two characters and more on the suspense of the scene. This can be seen through the clear facial expressions and acting of the two characters in the scene, which helps convey their motives in a more elaborate way than described in the script. Another thing to consider is the fact that the script only prioritizes the biggest details of the hotel room, leaving a lot of the room for the creation of the actual movie set. The script describes the room as clean in contrast to the littered hallway, a bed, a wardrobe, a small desk, a chair. Spartan, almost military. Now, when we take a look at the actual scene, it is clear that Scott chose to take a different route. He makes the room incredibly messy, with the addition of junk and other articles scattered about, giving it a very cramped feel. The messy space adds to the challenge on Deckard achieving his motive on finding the pictures, and thus adds suspense not otherwise found in the script. A factor that ties it all together is the fact that the scene in the movie is essentially a more elaborate version of the script, but is executed in a far shorter time frame. The screenwriter drags out the scene for several pages, creating a world where there is time to spare and time to be curious. In the film, however, Ridley Scott ups the intensity by speeding up the pace of the scene. It creates a world that is far more hostile than that of the script, thus highlighting the stark contrast of this vision of the future and today's world. The experience of watching Blade Runner and contrasting it to the script reveals the clear distinction Scott had in his mind when directing. He wanted to create a futuristic environment based on his own interpretations of a world ravaged by gloom and hostility. Making the decision to step beyond the boundaries of the script in the way that he creates sets, chooses actors, and times the scenes is what qualifies Ridley Scott as a true auteur and makes The Blade Runner a truly unique film.